Well, Linda's having a real tough time of it. All of a sudden her ankle's sore and this ground is really uneven and pretty steep going up here. Ooh, the weather last night was absolutely violent. We took down the clam shelter before we went to bed and weighed it down, and it did fine. They come down real fast after you empty them out. The e-bike was covered and secured to the hitch of the trailer so it couldn't blow over. I heard it pulling and tugging all night though. I see that the Starlink antenna is still upright, but it's been gusting 50, 55 miles an hour all night, and the rain just coming down in buckets. Oh, this is another side of the desert you don't normally see. It's interesting to see the washes come alive and start flowing, and just as fast as they come alive, they go dead again. Everything will just start rivers through the desert, and then within an hour it's all gone again. And the soil is specially designed by our creator so that it absorbs this moisture, and it's kind of like a sponge on the surface. When you walk on it, it's kind of like padded, and then after a few days it goes hard again. Gives the plants more time to absorb all of that. It all looks pretty green to be a desert, and this all goes totally brown in the summertime when it hits 130 here. Right now it's about 44. This is a small wash running through the desert. It's not really small, but I guess it's about 20 feet wide. Just before our last big rainstorm a week ago, there was somebody camped in the wash, a very big wash, about a half a mile from here, and luckily somebody warned them and they moved because that wash started flowing. It looked like such a beautiful camp spot. Oh, nice and sandy and shady trees and everything. They just didn't know. They thought they had hit the jackpot when it came to good campsites. Well, we don't have much planned for today because of the weather. The rain's going to stop and the sun's going to come out, but the wind's going to continue to blow for the day. Tomorrow we're going to a site on the BLM Goldwater Range in Cabeza, and they say there's 1,000 or 1,500 petroglyphs and pictographs, and we're going to take you in there and show it to you. It's a bit of a journey getting in there, but we're going to apply for our permits. You got to have a permit to go in. We're going to apply for the permits today and bring you on in tomorrow. Well, Linda and I are headed out Rasmussen Road, leaving Ajo. Rasmussen Road starts out, it's kind of on the northern half of the little town of Ajo, and it heads west. And we're going out to some petroglyphs and pictographs. There's supposed to be like 1,000 of them out here, and we're going to go out and check it out. It's supposed to be a pretty bad road. I think it's like 19 miles. It's a dirt road, probably more of a ATV track kind of a thing. You have to get special permission to go out here. I'm going to explain to you how to do that. And right after you leave town, within about a quarter of a mile, the pavement turns to dirt, and it's a pretty rocky, rough road. Now I got a feeling it's going to get worse. This is just the beginning, but we'll show it to you. Well, we're just a couple of miles in, and so far you don't need four-wheel drive yet. I'll let you know, but you do need high clearance. Before we left Ajo, we went into the Cabeza Prieta Wildlife refuge viewing center, and we got a map, and the instructions are detailed. You know, go to the next Y, turn left, go to the next Y, turn right, that kind of thing. It can get real confusing out here, so it'd be really easy to get lost. This is military firing range out here. It's huge. It takes up a good portion of southern Arizona, but it's open to outdoor recreation, even hunting. And during hunting season, you can camp out here for up to 14 days. You need a permit. You get that from iSportsman.net, and it's the Luke Air Force Base that manages the eastern half of this, part of the Barry M. Goldwater firing range down here. If you want to come in here, you've got to go to their website. I'll leave a link below this video. It's free. It's good for a year, but it goes from July through July. So you got to keep that in mind too. And there's lots to see in here.
If you come in here in the Cabeza Prieta, make sure you have a high clearance vehicle, preferably with four-wheel drive. Make sure you have lots of water. They do recommend 2 gallons of water per person per day, so be aware of that. And also, this is pretty rough and remote, not very well traveled. So there are a lot of illegal activity coming through here. So be aware of that, and be careful. And I would recommend not coming in here by yourself. It's worth coming in here though, because you're going to see stuff that you don't see from the side of the highway.
Well, when you get back in here just a few miles, you'll come to a sign-in station, and even though you already have your Luke Air Force Base permit, you have to register here because you have to put that permit number on this registration to continue on in. Each person in your party, once again, has to do this. And and then on the dashboard, you have to put the tag from each person's permit on your dashboard, and then you continue on back, and that's what we're going to do. I wasn't aware of the second sign in here. I was a little surprised by that. Sometimes, like the other day, we came to a sign like that, but it was because we were entering the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument in a kind of a remote corner, and then you either had to pay money at that one, just like entering any national monument or national park. Although our golden age passes, we were able just to continue on in. But that's what I expected here, but this was different. Well, in the background, you hear the noise of jets. That's something you hear down here in the Sonoran Desert a lot because, like I mentioned, this is a military training area. So you always have the noise of those jets in the background, except for Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, Linda. We're heading for Charlie Bell Pass, which is in the distance, that low saddle in the mountains out there. And that's where those petroglyphs are supposed to be, and pictographs. I'm looking forward to seeing them. And in the meantime, the trip out there has been a lot of fun. Why, the desert is beginning to bloom.
Well, it looks like it's from this dead bush, but it's actually from something else.
That bush is not dead, by the way.
No. Not yet.
No, you're not gardening it, so it should be all right. It's funny because just 30 or 40 miles south of us here, the desert is just really coming alive. Don't know why. Well, it's warmer down there. Down closer to the border, everything is starting to bloom down there. But just this little short distance is seeming to make a big difference. Well, we're pulled off the road into a little pull out. Like I say, you are allowed to camp in here. You have to camp within 50 feet of the road, no further. No, let me restate that. Your vehicle has to remain within 50 feet of the road. You can, if you're camping in a tent or something, you can go ahead and walk it back in a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of beautiful out here. And let me tell you, there's no one camping out here. You'd be all by yourself. 14-day limit. Did you hear that? In the distance, there's bombs going off. Well, there is that little glitch to your camping experience. I got to tell you, at night, the Air Force puts on quite a show. There's parachute flares and flashes from explosions. Just to make your camping experience exciting. They have their own areas that they stick to where they actually do their bombing runs. Could you hear that? That's an explosion over there. So you're pretty safe out here. Nothing going on in here. The only thing is you can't metal detect out here because there's unexploded ordnance. They've been using this area since World War I to train. And you'll find grenades, you'll find unexploded projectiles, unexploded rockets. Even their smoke bombs are very dangerous because they're explosive when they first go off. They say it's enough to kill you. So no metal detecting, and don't touch anything you see on the ground. That's Charlie Bell Pass where we're heading. And I think our goal is just this side of the pass. We'll see. Well, you can see the road has gotten quite a bit worse. It's extremely rocky. I still haven't used the four-wheel drive, but just came across another fella that decided to turn around and go back. I'm hoping that it peters out up here. It goes back to sandy. Well, we've been doing this for about 20 minutes now, and it's still pretty darn bad. Look at this stretch right here. Oh, man. I'm just glad we're not towing. Okay, now I'm going to put it into four-wheel drive, but just to kind of help the vehicle go over the rocks. Two-wheel drive would still make it, but it just crawls easier when it's in four-wheel drive. Oh yeah. I'm still hoping to drive out of this mess. So far it's been about maybe a mile of this. Yeah, it looks like it keeps going here. Let me turn the camera off so I can get both hands on the wheel. Well, we finally reached the end of that road. That was 2 miles of misery and just rock crawling for us. We actually ended up down in four-wheel low just to creep over those rocky, stretches, but it was about 2 miles. Anyways, we reached the end. Now here at the end, there's an emergency phone. That's for the folks coming. That's for anybody that needs it, but basically it's for the people that are crossing our borders illegally. And there's water stations too, just in case. But that's what that's all about. And then now, through this gate, we're going to hike down into here and find those petroglyphs. All we know is we're supposed to go through the gate, go down the hill, into the ravine, and start looking. So that's what we're about to do. The other thing we heard was that the fun part was the climb back up. So I guess we'll find out about that. Down we go. Well, as you can see, the hike down itself is pretty rough. It's all rocky. This is an old road. It's all closed off. But even the walking is pretty hard here. This is the kind of rocks we were driving over coming in from the other side of this pass. Never did see them, but they were just like real close, screaming by. Up there you can see two fighters. How you doing? Yeah, they see that rocky area we just came through behind us there. That was bad. And now it's not too bad here. Wind coming. Well, we saw these petroglyphs and pictographs on a brochure, not a brochure about them. There's nothing about them, but somewhere, one of the handouts or something. Nothing tells you exactly how to get to them. Nothing tells you about that stretch of extremely bad road that you would not want to bring a new car up or to go back out. Nothing tells you about this really bad hike down to the bottom, which is ground is real unstable and easy to slide on the sandy surface, slope surfaces. And nothing tells you exactly where they're at either. So when we get down here, we got to look for them. Well, we hiked from the top of that ridge line up there. That's where our car's parked. And I don't know how far it is down here. Mile or more to where I'm standing right now. I think we're getting close though. Well, the road is so rocky and windy coming down that I think that's why nobody was able to give us an accurate description of how far it was. We heard everything from 1/4 of a mile to 2 miles, so I just figured 2 miles. But I can see why nobody knows, is because it's hard to estimate coming down a trail like that. So we've been following these other footprints going out here, hoping that they lead us to the location, because it's a lot further than we thought. The one thing we know is that you have to start looking at the rocks around you, because you just kind of walk into the start of these things, and you can be unaware that they're even there, but you got to start watching the rocks, they said, next to the road. This saguaro looks like he was spinning around and then just stopped. Ballerino saguaro. Disappointed as heck. We have to call it. We don't see any sign of, usually if you're going to see petroglyphs, there's going to be cliff faces. And I don't see anything out here very close to me that resembles that. So I hate to have to say it, but I think we're going to turn around and go back. What a disappointment. Comes a helicopter. Wonder where he's going. How about a lift? I see a flag up ahead of me. I think it's one of those blue flags that mean water. And it's for the people that are coming up through the desert here. I'm going to go to the flag and then I'll turn around and go back. I'm pretty sure it's a blue flag. You see them. I don't know every how many miles, but those flags and those phones, the blue flags signify a water barrel. Yeah, it's a blue flag. And then the telephones have a blue flashing light on the top. So it's a bust for us. I don't know where those petroglyphs are, but they aren't here. They're somewhere, maybe below the initial hill that we came down.
Well, I don't know, because he mentioned that gate, and to the left of the gate, there was kind of like a trail.
It was, but it didn't go down. He said go down, so that's what we did, but obviously we did something wrong, so I don't know.
Are we supposed to deposit our water down there then?
I'm going to start drinking mine. It's a long hike back. Let's take it easy and let's make it back up. Yeah, the thing about these footprints is they go both ways, but it's hard to tell in most places because it's so gravelly. But we got a ways to go back. Plus that really steep hill at the end.
Hey Rick, look. This is the desert hibiscus. Coulter hibiscus.
Wow, it's just
Isn't
starting
that
to bloom. I see all those other buds.
Buds. Aloha no hibiscus. To me, they look like a giant ilima.
We don't know what ilima is, Linda.
Well, it looks just like that, only really tiny. And it takes, I forget, like thousands of them to make one lei. That from Hawaii. He looks like that.
Some beautiful yellows in here growing. Well, the trip's not a total bust.
Got our exercise in. And these, I think, are brittle bush.
Oh, they're pretty. Well, maybe, well, of course, this is the way it always goes. When you turn around, chances are that the destination you were seeking is just around the next bend. We just met some people coming down the trail that had better information than we had. And it sounds like we didn't go far enough, but we went pretty darn far, knowing what we had to go back up to get back up to the car. So we missed it. They said there's an area of black boulders and they're all over. And how many did he say that he heard there were? 2,400 or?
I don't know.
He said like 2,400. But I think that we're going to miss them on this trip.
Yeah, and besides, they were lots younger.
Yeah, they were younger and more fit.
Yeah.
I think we're doing pretty good, but first we got to make it to the top of this mountain. That's where the car's parked. Well, Linda's having a real tough time of it. All of a sudden her ankle's sore and this ground is really uneven and pretty steep going up here. But she just took a couple ibuprofen, but that won't kick in for quite a while. That's fresh scat. Well, this is the worst part, and this goes pretty much all the rest of the way to the top. It's all these boulders.
Wow. Yeah, my ankle was achy. And because you're using different muscles, the soreness goes up to my knee and then up to my hip. So basically my whole leg was sore. Except for my butt. My butt is fine. So I'm sitting on it. But we're almost to the top. I'm amazed that I came all this way anyway.
You're doing all right.
Cobra.
Is that your mating call?
Yes.
Are you listening for a reply?
Yeah. How rude. No answer.
Just seeing here, this is towards the top of the pass, and there's actually cement laid in here.
Yeah, and look, there's a handprint. Oh, it's a big hand.
Yeah,
Well,
well, that's a big hand. Wow.
A man-sized hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that cement is all busted out of here now. Well, this is all very deceiving. There's where the trail starts. Our car is just beyond that gate. And the trail looks very simple and very easy until you go around the first bend here. And that's where all the boulders start. And it gets nasty from there on down. Oh yeah. Well, we had fun anyway. It was, you know, our feet are sore and Linda's ankle is sore, but we didn't find the petroglyphs. They're out there. They'll be there next time. I hope there is a next time. Hey, we still have that drive out of here over that rocky road. The first 2 miles are pretty bad, so we're going to get started. Hey, thanks for coming along on this one, you guys. Linda's in the car taking a break and eating some potato chips, and I'm going to jump back in. We're going to motor on out of here. See you around. We actually don't recommend this trip to anybody. Right off the bat, the road is so bad you'll be afraid of tearing your car up. I mean, it's really bad. That last bit, just the last 2 miles, we just got down out of there again. But yeah, don't. And then the walk down to those petroglyphs is really bad too, especially the walk back up. So yeah, this is I'd say maybe should pass. So we're not suggesting you do this trip. You do it if you want to, but we're not suggesting that you do. Anything to add to that, Linda?
No, it was really nice. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because of the damage it could do to your car or vehicle. And also the hike down was not an easy hike.
No, not at all. Hey, you know what though? The trip up to that point where the road got bad, we're still on a bad section here, but the road's going to get pretty decent and just be like a regular, you know, dirt road. It's really beautiful in here, and you can camp in here, and the camping would be really beautiful too. So there is that.
Maybe come in as far as the antelope sanctuary or
Something like that.
hunting something.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. And you'll see some unadulterated desert. Pretty nice.